Hey everybody, let's get going. Shout out to the Madcaps as always. Thank you guys. Thank you, John and Christina. Appreciate it. What's going on, everybody? Back to it. Um, Maybe kind of the lackluster holiday season. We're starting. Markets are up and down, not straight up. Bitcoin sideways. What's going on? Let's start with Bitcoin really quick. And before I go even further, let's do the necessary disclaimer. This is not financial advice. This is entertainment for entertainment purposes that I hope you find educational. There you go. So we got all the books out, everybody. Thanks again for those couple sessions. Do Here it is. We did even send. I said I would qualify and send some international books, meaning outside the United States. Some people I simply really couldn't send it to you because over the last year, obviously year and a half, books have not been getting through. Books have not been getting to even Europe in a lot of cases. Where let's see if these books get to Europe. So appreciate it. Hello, everybody. Hey, Ziggy, Cody. What's up, R Lake from North Korea? That would be great. That would be really funny. David, what's up? Pete, James, all the rest of everyone else. We're here Monday, Tuesday, Thursday at 11 a.m. We started the Harmonic Pattern podcast a month ago, beginning in November, and so far so good. Yet last session, good feedback on um, looking at some more instructional type stuff. Some of the breakdown illustrations. We looked at the basically the return mechanism, the complex return, looking at complex indicator formations and relative strength, looking at those M and W formations in the indicator. So today, I want to kind of look, do a little bit more on that return concept and go through maybe some examples of not only the return concept in what we talked about in our last session, but then, the basic type 1, type 2 phenomenon and the type 2 return. A lot of what I've talked about is with harmonic patterns falls into the category of, is it a reaction or is it a reversal situation? There are conditions for both. So again, I appreciate the feedback. I welcome all the feedback. If you have ideas or things you want to see done in these sessions, by all means, you can send me an email. Most of the time, most of everyone now probably got a book after the last few sessions, after the last week, and I'll still give some out. I think maybe I burned everybody out. So everyone's going to get a book. Let's give it a week or two and at least let half the people you know, get their books. People in the United States should get your book next week. Again, internationally, I would have to say it's going to be after the holidays due to it being so slow. So let's take a quick start with Bitcoin, folks. And I don't even know if we should continue the Bitcoin discussion if we're just going to not provide much, really much data at all of what we're doing here. We've been wrestling with the 56, 57,000 level for a couple weeks. There's a few different things coming right off the top there, and essentially really looking at this 56, 57 as a floor, much like we saw back in what was it, September? at 39 and then 29. So, that's it. And both of those situations took some time to materialize. The difference here is that the expectations are, super bullish with stock to flow model and all cycle, kind of everyone trying to overlay one to one cycle history, saying that this is it. We're in the moon phase. So we did look at this, I think, a couple sessions ago, and here is, you can't really see it. Let me change that on HSI, but we did have HSI, a bullish HSI. Is this just taking its time, getting kind of a delayed effect here with what we're seeing? Because that's, for everything that we would line up. There's a terminal bar. Okay, 4-hour chart. The pattern completion is right there. But where is the opportunity? Okay, that's something also to consider with harmonic pattern potential reversal zone. Looking at all the measured levels. Now, of course, our software does it automatically, so you don't have to be measuring, you don't have to guess. And then the accompanying hop level of, 1 second here. Having this hop level here is our kind of excessive tolerance, our layered harmonic level, I like to say. But clearly we're looking for the real world trading action to settle, consolidate in this area. But give us the confirmation variable that will trigger the opportunity. That's the important concept. A lot of people are, I think, hyper focused on harmonic patterns where it hits the numbers. You have to be right there. And I think you have to be right there to monitor what happens. But what we really know is it's kind of like, after years of being in the laboratory, so to speak, what we're really seeing is the kind of the delayed effect, where maybe it's a tight consolidation, maybe it takes 15, 20 bars, but you get what we use, which is harmonic strength index, and that's our pink arrow right here, to trigger in the zone where then that should set off the move, the reaction move. Okay, again, this is really critical because this is the first part of what we're talking about today, which is the return move, harmonic return. But that's the type 1 ideal scenario. Maybe it should be a little bit tighter. I'll go to one or two examples in a second that are wherever the HSI arrow comes in, that's your move. Here it is in terms of our two indicators that we use for harmonic pattern collection. And we clearly see, both indicators oversold, stabilize, and come out well after pattern completion, but that's okay. And then it's at that point, it's okay. I've got a terminal bar here off of Bitcoin. Now there's the trigger, a little bit delayed, still acceptable. Now we're looking for target 1 at 65.41 and a couple of bumps up to 58,000. Try to hit there, but hit into a couple of some barriers. 58,000 is pretty firm. Here's the other thing on HSI. Sorry, I need to change the settings on both. There you go. Pink arrows are HSI. Okay, we're running into some resistance here where coming out of that zone at 58,000, just can't get through it right now. Needs more time. Going sideways. Okay. Maybe we do more consolidation. I certainly don't want to see anything below these prior lows, and what you really want to see, the development off of this pattern, whether it takes a couple more days or even the whole week, is some constructive consolidation in here. do your type 1 move, come back, and then for the retest. So if we're going to overlay our standard type 1, type 2 framework where we have to come up, hit the target, and then the return move. Why? Because we look for the reaction, then it returns for the full retest after hitting the target. That's the key. That's kind of like the 382 minimum. The 382 minimum is, that's just one harmonic level that really does separate all price segments. But for pattern's sake, we want to see target 1 hit, then you come to the retest, then you go. For this, I think all of that says it needs more time. We also saw Ethereum try to make a rush actually off of the type 2 crab. This is going to be a great segue here in a second, but that's how I would be looking at Bitcoin. And I'm going to, I do want to kind of highlight something I'm thinking about Bitcoin of, the type 1, the type 2 return, how this stuff unfolds, reaction reversal dynamics. And again, we'll see how this plays out. We'll keep that on the chart. But even with this bat pattern, what have you, again, that's how I would expect this. And that tells me that's going to need time. Now, one of the things that I would be looking for in terms of Bitcoin on, say, daily is something where working our way up, we're still going to require that until we get back up with an ideal level in an 886. Now, I do want to say that the longer we go, the weaker this scenario becomes. So just a lot at stake at this level. It's reminiscent, again, of the last two times, July and September. So hold on one second, folks. Yeah. So let me go to a couple more here. Do want to update everybody. I want to let everybody know I talked about this Cyber Monday deal. Again, that was for the HPC Pro package. Today I'm going to go through a couple crypto. So check the basic members page on Harmonic Trader. Again, that's the best place to go and get all the information for both of those deals. Now, here's Ethereum, and this is where our type 1, type 2, the whole harmonic return concept comes into play in both price and indicators. So let's go back to where we were just in the last few weeks. And this fit fairly nicely. The type 1, type 2, it actually provides hope for Bitcoin because Ethereum is kind of leading the deal, the whole market. But there's our pattern here where the type 1 established itself last week, came back down. We wrestled. If you look at the last session, I think it was last week, last Friday, we were kind of wrestling, or maybe it was last Tuesday, where we were wrestling. Was that the exact type 2, or did we need a retest? And I was saying we needed a retest, and we did hit there. Hold on one second, folks. I think we're good there. So now we've actually made it not only back up to our target 2, which is what you want to see, but we're at the hop level of that ABCD. So final part of that is we triggered an HSI arrow. We are shy of the all-time high. We did not break out. I want to keep an eye closely on what this does here, because if it goes back into some more consolidation, then you're not going to get the anticipated move that I think a lot of people are looking for at this moment. You're not going to get anything until we come back down and generate at least another oversold on both amplified and HSI. Really important to be mindful of what Ethereum is doing. I've been saying for the last at least week or two that this is probably the market that leads you higher or no? I mean, it's not, the rest of the market does not look constructive, folks. And I think I need to start expressing those sentiments. And I don't care where we are. I think we need to start thinking about what if this does not continue. And we've seen great oversold reactions. I did want to bring up really quick Cardano was one of them where, Cardano has gotten crushed recently. It was almost $3, or it was $3. And now that was a buck 40. So, I'm really looking at that. How do you know it's the retest? No HSI. What retest? on the, on the Ethereum? I think the Ethereum we're back up. Um, I think someone's asking about the Ethereum. Why is that an HSI? Because it's hit the target, and you're back at target 2 with an HSI reading, and you're retesting some of those HSI with there's some prior ABCDs there depending on the data feed. There you go. There's some things here I don't want to ignore on Ethereum where if you can't continue higher, you're done for now. Hold on one second. I think we got some issues. So be mindful of that, folks. I think it's I see it in the other. There's a lot of other coins that are not continuing. Let's just say it that way. They're not continuing. Some have mooned recently, the Decentralands, whatever, but um, they're just not really continuing at the moment. So until that changes, I think we need to see stuff maybe come in a little bit further, and we've seen so much of this is Cartesi, these kind of big spikes and then come right back down. Here's something that another just a worthless spike and rug pull. Where'd it go? This GTC Gitcoin. I think we talked about this when we were talking about this. It was breaking out at about 13 and it went to 28, came all the way back. I think we want to look at a lot of these as, potential just full spikes. And then if they do not, look, if this stuff does not stabilize and go sideways at a minimum, you're just going to come back and do full 886s. You like Gitcoin will just come back to the 886 and it won't even care. It'll just come all the way back down to there. Be mindful of a lot of these that are doing that kind of movement. No continuation. Let me go really quick to mana. Hold on. There it is. Wait, where are we going? Yeah. Take a look at mana. Let's go to the daily on mana. Already spiked up basically to this following 1618. Let's get a really good blow up here on just that last move. We're not even what a 113 up there, depending on the feed. This is Coinbase feed, but we hit this 113 level. That's really what that is. 127 maybe, but not continuing. And folks, I don't want to. Again, you need to see progress off of this 113 level, or you don't get. You're going to require more consolidation. Think of it that way. It's just going to take more time before a larger trend development can take place. Yeah, there's a great comment. Yeah, Danny, that's a great comment. Yep. Just there's been a. He says it's a merry-go-round of pump and dumps, and liquidity gets sucked out, and so yeah, in a lot of regards, it's great if you play it from that perspective. And you get something that moves. This is something I've talked about where I've personally caught some of them. I've missed a few of the huge moves that were even ones that I caught because I didn't plant my limit order. And it's pretty much the only way you're going to catch these. I've talked about that previously. It happens, but here's one that I featured about a week or two ago. Luna, all the way back down. We had something. I think it was on an hourly down at about 40. Yeah, there you go. This bat we had back to back on Luna, crab and bat pattern. That thing exploded. Okay, but the larger aspect of Luna is look at the within that trend. I mean, there you go. You've got clear winners like that, Luna, Solana. Okay, but then we go to other ones that are, not doing what you really need to see. And let me bring up like, oh, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of them. There's a slew of underperformers. Um, Here's one that's really surprising me. Okay, this is VE Chain, but again, this is taking a lot more time. This is one where we had a recent, I think it was a bat pattern at about 13, 12 and a half. Where was it? Is it all the way back here? No, I think it was something bigger than that. There you go. Yeah, it's kind of like that bat structure down there, but not really doing it because you look at the daily time frame. That's got a lot more work to do. That's not in price discovery. Not like you're seeing in Luna. So another example of that is Solana. Pretty clear. That holding firm. Are we going to do another thrust higher? I would suspect, a good chance that does take shape here. We're trying to break out on Solana. And I posted something on this recently, and I think it's still early in the development because look, we have a really clear HSI signal. That last pink arrow, that bullish arrow, put plant that number about 188, 190. Not to mention, let me go here. I know we had, it was hourly or 4 hour. I got to take a look at that. I know we had something recently on this latest dip down. There it was. It was a 2 hour. I thought so. This crab pattern that took its time as a secondary low off of that first test. That was kind of the first corrective move. The other thing about, I know what we were looking at here on Solana on the 4 hour or the daily is the corrective structure. Maybe it's the daily. Yeah, exactly. So check this out. This is something we've been talking about. Hold on, folks, 1 second. All right, thanks. I know we highlighted this maybe 2 weeks ago. Check out the prior sessions, but this is the powerful complex return formation we talked about, where we get the M formation and then we get HSI confirming. Hold on 1 second. Let me blow this up. There you go. So we're essentially looking for this pullback. We have our HSI triggering. That's the first kind of oversold exhaustion metric after the last surge. What do we want to see? Well, develop this into some kind of W formation like that, and at least go to the 886. 886 up there, 270. Ideally, give me a 1618. Those would be the two levels, and that's 320. You get a 1618 extension, one more move off from here, another 100 higher. Definitely possible. I mean, that's how you need to be thinking about these after they do the surge. Go to the 2 hour, go to the 4 hour, and look for some of those oversold measures. The other one that really I think is where'd it go? Where's that sandbox? There it is. This sandbox is something you do want to keep an eye on. It's kind of like cat out of the bag and really become the one to watch more than mana. This one, 1 second, folks. Thanks. This one's done two obvious surges. That's fine. The second one being a massive that 400%. So now we have another pullback after a good, I would say 30 bar. That's the other thing. We want to see these things spike and then at least pause 30 bars. That's what we have going on here. Pretty clear. Even from a general time perspective, I don't want to jump in on something. All right, hey, after 30 bars of pausing, show me something. Here's something. So do not dismiss this sandbox because this could very easily just be pausing up here, getting ready to do. You're almost at a C point of the crab. I think it'd be like this. I mean, maybe it's a butterfly. Take a look. But 1618 gets you basically $10 shot. Yeah, this is your B point's probably more like 886 category. So those high flyers, I think those are the ones. The obvious high flyers are the ones really to be focused on. These other ones that have not broken out, we're talking months. We're talking the ones that busted in July or even earlier this year. Uh, Definitely have to be dismissed for now and get with the momentum. And that probably speaks to the fact that it's a late stage move. So, yeah, I can look at that ENS. Someone's asking about ENS. Definitely. What do I think about a 3618 zone using a Keltner 4X multiple alert system? I think if that works, go for you. 3618 is a great zone. We've talked about that. I've talked about why 3618 is the top end. So again, 314 probably minimum extreme metric you want to be looking at. 3618 is the top end. ENS USD Ethereum name service, that's a new one on Coinbase. And these also have been mooning. They get listed on Coinbase. There's your Coinbase feed. They do something like this. But again, folks, we can still do this. I think a lot of people are queuing on to this opportunity. So, and maybe it's something I'll start featuring is like, okay, what are the new listings on Coinbase? Because obviously they go through a moon phase where at a minimum, they'll give you a crab. And in fact, take a look at what happens on this. It goes type 1, type 2. So ENS, I'll show you how to look at that, but it is something to consider with these Coinbase listings from a pure speculation basis that people are piling in on them after the effect and then trying to run them. But they can, the takeaway is that they can only run them up to like a 1618, and it still follows within 1618 type 1 type 2 dynamics. So hold on one second. So let's walk through this on ENS. There was a couple other ones I was going to highlight, the whole harmonic return concept. Again, we talked about the indicator, the complex return in the last session, but the whole harmonic return, that means you have to expect some kind of reaction at your major levels, your major situations, major pattern completions. That's what you have here. And you can do it off of the all-time data for Coinbase. So it's like this. Okay, if we know that we have a crab formation, which we do, walk through it. I just traced it out. You have a W formation. It starts trading. It forms this W. B point goes to 618, 60, 62, 63. All right, but what happens? It goes down to a C point, but it doesn't take out A, so that's how you know it's a W formation. Now we come up. Now, here's the argument, folks. If you have a B point and you have a W, isn't it a Gartley? Sure. It is, but tell me about your ABCD. Tell me about your other metrics like your BC extension. And then what happens at that 786, because that's about there. It blows right through. In a lot of cases, what we're seeing, what we really want to favor is that 1618 move, which is put you right there, really. And what happens there? Well, as we should expect. Where did I go? What did I just hit? Oh, I went to the other one. Hold on one second. Let me go back. It fell right in with type 1, type 2. Where's ENS? One second. Yeah, let me get back to that. The 382 on this reaction is something I talked about in crypto.com as well, and it's really kind of worked out ideal, almost exactly 38.2 cents after going to $1. But here's the 1618 level, and so when you're there, you're at the 1618 level here, you have to be thinking that we need to pay for that last move, so we need to be thinking there. It's just the reaction concept. Even if it goes dramatically higher, we need to pay for this. All right, but that's only the first reaction part. And then the return function, where if that structure is really going to be something significant, well, we need to retest it, give it some kind of divergence or something super weak, maybe take out the prior high and then roll over. All of that. All right, ENS, that's what's happening. And that's why in a lot of those instances, you get the bigger move because it's a failed breakout. And now you have reversal category go to 618 level. That's the return. This whole return function, that's that dynamic from a structural level. That's how we treat that. You got to look at that whole thing as like a process. So ENS, yeah, this is another candidate here for step back, get out of the way. I mean, let's go. Here's Dot. Dot did on a 2 hour time frame. I think we've got some. Yeah, look at this big deep crab. Where's Dot going, folks? It's got a retest. We're seeing a lot of this. I mean, Dot 3380 is your minimum XA terminal bar retest. What do I think of 4 hour Bitcoin harmonic target at 51K? I think it's ugly. I don't really want to see Bitcoin under 51 or whatever. I said this last time. It's already could very well do something that's not what people want it to do. It's disappointing. It's not fulfilling their objectives, and everyone's now reaching for justifications of stretching out the analysis. That's a recipe for disaster. I don't like it. I want to see this thing go and run, but obviously something else is happening. I don't. Let's watch it here. There's BTC, and again, I don't even think it's about BTC anymore. Like I said, I think it's about Ethereum. Let me pop up total market cap. I think total crypto market cap is, this is the other thing that's, if you don't see progress here, forget it. And I mean, talking going into the end of the year, by year's end, if you're trending lower, which I'm concerned because the last few sessions here have been not constructive. If anything, you should be really rocking through. Look at the crypto pattern that we talked about. It's perfect type 1, type 2 conditions here. At a minimum, we should be seeing this thing explode. Why? Because it's doing the type 1, it did the type 2 return. Let's walk through that. Again, here's a perfect example where the pattern, the reaction, the HSI of what we expect are all the clues are there. That this is only a reaction where there's terminal bar at your D point, and check out what happens. You have that micro terminal check back right here. So even there, you still had 3 bars, and that's a 4 hour chart. So that triggers it. You didn't have any confirmation there, but where was your confirmation? Yeah, almost, but amplified did. But you're still reaction territory. So look what happens. You go to target 1. Why target 1? Because that's the definition of the pattern reaction completion objective. That if you can achieve that, folks, listen, I know there's like a whole bunch of trading that also took, you go this whole sideways move, but check it out. Look, if your job is to capture segments, well, that's a heck of a segment, and the best way to do it is an automatic strategy at target 1. It's again, I think that has to be ingrained in people's minds of type 1 reaction, type 2 reversal. But the only way to capture that is to be there with a limit order. We see it so many times. If you want to try to hold on for more, great. But if you're on a type 1 reaction on a harmonic pattern and you don't have and you capture it, but you're not going to put your limit order at target 1, you're going to miss a lot of opportunity. It's really important to understand that there is kind of a skill that you got to develop where you have to respond to the numbers. The software is going to kick it out, and you work with the software, you're going to see these dynamics over and over again, but you have to respond to the numbers. You have to, at this point, until I get it totally automatic, you have to respond to these levels. And even if I had it automatic, you'd still want to know what you're doing, and you'd still want to be able to respond to the numbers. That's the strategy. That's the plan. But this one comes back for a secondary test that we talked about, I think last week. But what happened? We got rejected a second time. We had 2 tests here on target 2. So the return dynamic right here, that's to be expected. You come up, hit target 1, retest. That's to be expected. That's the harmonic return. Whole thing happening within 30 bars. But we have a secondary kind of a further retest all the way down at the hop here that was practically the exact low. Hop being harmonic optimal price level. There's your floor, folks. And I would say that is the floor for how we measure our frameworks and utilize the pattern structures kind of as like a, I don't know, stair-stepping mechanism, if you will, to be at least giving, if there's a stock to flow model, well, this is the Scott to flow model because I think we have to demand certain performance. I can't just blindly say, okay, 98,000 folks, that was supposed to happen in November and it's 56,000 and going down. Okay, it was only off this time, one time, but maybe next time we'll come back to it. And with that, that kind of thinking leads to not just bag holding, sack holding, getting completely sacked. And so again, I'm not going to buy that argument. I'm not going to buy the stretch out. Let's stretch out our cycle forecast so that it fits our model so we can buy ourselves more time. Really critical to be strict on this make break scenario. And that's total crypto market cap. That makes sense that you have that 1618 correction off of the top. Have just a nice down move, 1618 sideways. Okay, now let's start building it back up. I'm fine with that. But Bitcoin needs to participate. Ethereum needs to demonstrate serious leadership, and then these others like Solana and Luna have to continue. That is absolutely those are facts. And we've seen stuff. Here's something that has not really worked out. And it worked out, but didn't really work out. Is this Coty? All right, and I brought this up saying, okay, somewhere around 42 or 41, and it got down to 36 or something, and then popped to 50. Folks, I'd be kind of bailing on that. I don't know. I would expect some kind of retest there. It dipped down a bit lower than I really wanted to see. I think it was an hourly chart. Going back, maybe it was that hop level. No, I don't even think so. I think it was 41 was the level. So it was even higher. And we see that kind of overspill, but if you're not going to rebound aggressively and make some demonstrative progress, forget it. Here's crypto.com. Remember this? It wasn't too long ago. And we talked about this last week. I still say, you're in a 382 move. And look, you come all the way back. Where's your 382? This is the all-time data, 4 hour for Coinbase. Your 382 is right there at Uh, 69. It's like that. What you should do is a 1618 from there. That's really what you should happen from this point forward on crypto. Yeah, I can see it going sideways here for a little while longer, but we need to break out and then do your 1618, become a big ABCD on crypto.com. So, yep. There's a question. Do I own any Doge? No, I have been out, stayed out of Doge. I think maybe I took one shot on Doge 2 months ago, but nowhere near what I had done earlier in the year. And I'm not really, that's not where I would be looking for longer term opportunities or anything like that. Again, I think it's more stuff like, hey, crypto.com is actually in a pretty good spot where this could be setting up. You know, you look at some things like being overbought here on our, what's that, 4 hour? The 2 hour, I think, is better. So you go sideways, you hold this 70 level, which it's trying to do, and then start to make progress. Yeah, you could see something where you you eventually make a 1618 another 1618 extension, which is it would be something like that up to about 112, 115, something like that, and then come down. Come back down hard, like 80 cents. So I think crypto, we have to pay attention to it because if this thing doesn't, if it lays an egg through the weekend, I'm serious. If this lays a giant dud and Bitcoin's, if it's under 55,000 by this weekend, I'm going to have to think that people are probably going to bail out on positions come year end and reassess in January. Yeah, we talked about Ethereum. Someone's asking for Ethereum. Do check the beginning. We talked about that in the beginning. So I actually do need to wrap up. Really quick, yeah, the other indices, folks. What's going on with the indices? And S&P 500 and Nasdaq. I mean, listen, they're just. I think this is a big relief of the year's gains. Hold on one second. Here's the SPY, and I wanted to show this. This is on 2 hour time frame. We're starting to get some patterns off the top here. So again, take a look at the software. Just recently, this is a big. You're looking at like a big 1618 extension down here. It's more like even a type 2 on the SPY. That's around 4,500, 4,550 for the index. You're getting there. You want to. I think it's been pretty severe, and you've let a lot of air out of the tires, so to speak. The other thing is you do have oversold readings in amplified RSI. So check it out. For the SPY, really quick on the daily, we did register green line has hit and gone off. So that means there's a RSI, amplified RSI confirmation developing really strong. And what we talked about in our last session was the complex return. So take a look. If that red line stops, we start looking. The red line is on here, which means, okay, this eventually has to get retested. That's how we would treat that. I would think, we come back, we could stabilize soon, and then maybe come over here and then make our way back up. The ideal thing to happen would be HSI to trigger on the daily. If HSI could trigger on the daily, this is something to look for into Monday on SPY. That would probably be it. What do we think about oil? Oil is in a type 1. I'll bring up the other. Let's bring up HPC Pro, and then I got to wrap it up in about 3 minutes. We talked about we had two patterns up at 78 and looking for minimum pause type 1. That's type 1 now. And I think the type 1 is probably going to happen pretty fast. The number is 64, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, here we go. We're already there. So check out the 4-hour time frame, folks. We're there on the crab. 64. Perfect at the hop. This has got my full attention now. Why? Because you have everything you want to see with terminal bar. There's complex here's HSI, the pink arrow. Here is the check back level at 66. Hop level at 64. 64 is your number, folks. So yeah, let's keep a real close eye on today's low and how we're going to finish the week. I remember we had both these patterns giving us this bat pattern, but the prior was a deep crab too. Okay, we hit 64.50 now. Your work is done. So that's it. There's your floor at 64. And take a look at what's developing right here. So complex structure is coming up quickly. So here we've got that complex structure, folks, on amplified RSI. And clearly W formation about to trigger. Once that comes out, you're on. HSI will probably trigger, but the expectation is stabilize in this level 67.45. I expect us to be back over that very soon. We're not going to spend much time down here, and then we make our ascent back to 80. So that is that would be the type 2 of 2. Maybe we have to come back down because this is going to be a complex formation. So it might take some time. Might take the better part of December to work this out and then resume January, February. 79 is the top end target. Again, we do not want to see this down here very long. I would expect something really soon where this is you're looking at the low. We'll come back next week. We'll take a hard look because I really feel like that's it. One more, folks, is I want to look at gold. So gold, I really was targeting 1936 by expiration. And dang it, not there. You're not going to get it. We had this butterfly. We ran into this on the daily type 1 all the way down to the target 2. But I'm still looking for the return. That should be about it. You can kind of tell because look at all the bars. Look, we come off that type 1 reaction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars, you're at target 2. And now you go sideways 6 bars. So we're going to have to come back. That's the return aspect. And take a look at what's going on amplified RSI. You're already on the oversold side. Look for that next week. There's a lot of garbage going on, folks. I know that. Uh, a big shout out to everybody where you're dealing with some kind of restriction or whatever. And everyone think for yourself and be really smart. And I'm personally support everyone's decision. I do believe that again, whatever's going on, whatever's to come, we have to come up with our own solution. I believe personally, I'm going to share this with everyone because people have asked me. Yeah, I'm vaccinated, and I do believe. I think the science works. I've talked to doctors who, yeah, they believe in it, the severity. But then again, I have I have I have good contacts with a lot of really great doctors who are sensibly skeptical of recent, let's say, announcements. And so I just share that with everyone to say, however things work out, I think we're going to see it in the markets no matter what. And we will see the big breakdowns if that's what's going to happen. If there's going to be major change, we're going to see that. Right now, we're just in a very reactive environment. Our larger scenarios have not changed. For example, say my monthly scenario for gold still sits up at getting up to retest the 2135 level. If anything, the last year or so has been quite strong, holding up in this higher level. So um, I strongly encourage everyone that's new learning the harmonic pattern framework, how we look at these markets, to take time to really understand it before you commit any money to the trading of it. And again, I think it's everything that we seem to navigate in the best regard usually come through the reaction reversal framework. But also standard technical analysis goes a long way, and there's other methods that basic price action, candlestick recognition, standard indicators. Check it all out because we're going to need to be sorting through these charts to get to the truth, to get to the reality of what's to come within the financial markets. So if we're going to see something dramatic, it's going to probably be sharp, sudden, and not last very long. Why would that change? There's your monthly NASDAQ NQ. Just going back, let's go 10 years. And what do we see here? Just kind of a consistent pattern of nonstop. But if we look at, say, the indicators, well, they give us a little bit better of a story. And something I'm keeping my eye on of how we finish the month is, look, our amplified RSI on NASDAQ is starting to roll over. It's still in the overbought, but we might be forming a complex structure. And the last two times we did that, there and here, led to what was pretty dramatic back then, but are micro corrections now, but they were dramatic at the time. This down here at the big 886, that was pretty dramatic, but they were just complex, temporary, like that. We talked about that complex return in our last session. It is a part of like the whole phenomenon of return, retest, reaction reversal retest in harmonic patterns. Maybe that's what we're seeing here on the monthly, which would mean, okay, probably a down move in a reactive move, and then we come to the 50 level and then we go up again. But that's coming together pretty fast, and we'll look at that more next week because I feel like a lot of this recent action is not continuing where it should be continuing. This thing should be raging. We should be talking about how ridiculous this is at all-time new highs, and it's not there. Same with Bitcoin, folks. So I hope this bring a little splash of reality to that. I personally, someone brought up Doge. That's one of several of these speculative meme coins that I have been fortunate enough to substantially benefit from throughout the year, and most of you know the stories. Okay, but I want to highlight the fact that this is still a massive temporary, let's call it a transitory speculation phase. How about that? A transitory speculation phase. And I think I've got a little more credibility than other people that use that word. But I say that because this level of speculation can change, the environment can change. I've said this for a while where you have to take advantage of it. If it's not going to continue, all right, and we might be seeing the signs, we're going to want to be on defense. Remember April of last year before that Bitcoin correction or Ethereum correction or midsummer correction. It could be just something like that, but that's going to be a stiff correction. So, same with this other NASDAQ stuff. Just keep that in mind. We'll talk more about that on Monday. Last thing, everyone, a lot of people got the books. You got with the software. Uh, Everyone, please, we're connecting a lot of things over the next week through our Discord. Go to Harmonic Trader, become a basic member. That's all free, and you take the basic membership, access all of the free materials that are there. That's where you begin before you even subscribe. I did want to mention, okay, that the two offers, the Cyber Monday and Black Friday deals. The Black Friday deal is for TradingView, and that's an owner's license for about $720, normally 800, and we're not selling owner's licenses anymore versus the Pro, which is any one of these. You get actually up to 3 licenses, but that's the 3K package, folks. Let me be clear on that again, because a lot of people thought, what? I'm getting 3 TradingView licenses for one? No, 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 no. HPC Pro, which what's happening is people are using TradingView and then they say, hey, I want to try MetaTrader or ESignal, and you get something like this. And I was showing actually the other session the 5-second charts. A couple people sent me a note on that, thought that was crazy. Yeah, 5-second patterns, folks, if you're into futures, something to definitely check out. Okay, you see a lot of harmonic pattern dynamics come together. There you go, earlier today. Oh yeah, there's a nice crab pattern. But check that out. Take advantage of all of that, please. And all of your questions are going to be answered there, seriously. So start there. And then if you do have a question, you can reach out to me on the Discord. And our Discord is growing, which is great. Go to this link here and sign up. Join Harmonic Pattern Central. Oh, cool. Almost 200 people on now, and that's growing. A lot of great people in there posting charts. We're developing that as well. We're really just focusing harmonic patterns. So I'm just going to kind of throw that out there for everybody. Harmonic patterns, that's what I'm all about. I think, look, I've studied it all. I should start sharing some of the stories because I've met half of the pioneers that were around still since like 1995. But, um, harmonic patterns for me encompass all the technical analysis stuff you need. But I still say go study technical analysis because you will learn a lot about general framework, which is critical. But come into the Discord here and the other stuff. We'll tie to Twitter, but get with the software. And again, thank you to everybody that joined us in those sessions, and welcome to all the new subscribers and all the new customers that came in. We had a big group of people that are getting it. They're really getting it. I mean, it's phenomenal to see the progress that is unfolding. So that's my goal into the new year, and that's the goal with these sessions. So there's more to come very soon. Beyond that, reach out to me there on the Discord. Is the best place to go. Thanks again, folks. We'll see you on Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern. As always, go get them. Have